Most of us want more than just a nice looking home. We want a space that reflects who we are. I remember thinking that buying a full matching set like sofas, chairs, and tables meant I was doing it right. It felt easy and grown up, and honestly, it felt like a relief to not have to figure it all out. But what I didn't realize back then was matching does not equal meaning. It creates visual order, yes, but it also quiets the room in a way that it disconnects it from you. And in many cultures, even the one I grew up in, a quiet room is not peaceful. It's missing its heart, or it sort of creates silence. So today I want to talk about spaces where everything matches yet something is still missing. And more importantly, how to design a space that tells you a story and not just follow the rules. And you guys, before we even challenge the trend, we need to understand its comfort. Matching sets do offer control and simplicity, but they often come at the expense of personal depth. We all crave a sense of peace when we walk into a room, right? That feeling where eyes can rest. So for a lot of people, the easiest way to get that feeling is through matching. Matching furniture, matching finishes, and matching everything. And it does make sense. Cohesion feels safe and predictable. But here's the thing. In design, too much of sameness does not create peace. It creates monotony. That's where contrast comes in. Contrast is not about chaos. It's about energy. It gives the eye places to line and move. It sort of brings life into a room. This is where many people get stuck. They think contrast means clashing, that if things don't get matched exactly, they'll get messy or wrong. But in reality, contrast is what makes cohesion work. It's the layered rug under a smooth sofa, the aged brass lamp next to the modern chair. The slight imperfect pairings are the way to bring that aha moment. Growing up, I was surrounded by homes where balance did not come from matching sets. It came from meaning. In so many Middle Eastern homes, nothing matched perfectly, but everything belonged. It felt natural, lived in, and real. I still remember my first apartment, beige sofa, matching chairs, identical side tables. It looked right, but it didn't feel like me. Now that's what I designed for, not for perfection. So if you have ever stood in a store, tempted to buy a full set just to be safe, I get it. I've been there too. But this is what I've learned from those experiences. The most beautiful and authentic spaces come together slowly, piece by piece, with intention. To help you get started, I have put together a free design lookbook filled with ideas and spaces I genuinely love. Each piece is chosen to bring balance and a touch of Middle Eastern warmth into your home. Once we choose a set, the next step is to arrange it in perfect symmetry. 2 lamps, 2 side tables, cushions perfectly mirrored on each end of the sofa. It feels neat and put together, and there is nothing wrong in symmetry. Symmetry is powerful. It gives us structure. Even it helps a room feel balanced. But when everything is balanced exactly, it can start to feel predictable. Like the room is not designed for living, it's staged. In design, tension is not a flaw. It's what makes a space breathe. You don't need everything to mirror itself for a room to feel grounded. Sometimes it's just a single off-center chair that makes the room feel real or alive. And that is something traditional homes have always understood, especially in Middle Eastern spaces. Majlis areas, for instance, often blend height, density, and spacing in ways that feels natural but are not always perfectly symmetrical. You might have noticed in traditional designs, things don't match exactly, but they flow. And for me, that is a secret sauce. For years, I clung to symmetry like as if it was a design rule book. I thought if everything was matched and centered, it would feel right. But every time I broke that rule, even just slightly, the room came to life. That's when I knew perfection is not what people connect to. Personality is. You guys, I feel a home is not supposed to stay frozen in time. Our lives change, our routines, families, our styles, but matching furniture sets, they don't change with us. When you buy a full set, it locks your space into just one look. Sure, it might feel pulled together at first, but fast forward a few years, it can start to feel like you are living in someone else's place. The problem is sets are not flexible. You cannot update one piece without throwing off the whole thing. But when your home is layered with intention, it becomes way more forgiving. You can swap out a chair, change the layout, try a new piece you love, and the space still works. I remember visiting relatives where cushions were recovered every few years. Rugs rotated depending on the season, and furniture was reused across generations in different roles. There was no pressure to freeze the room into one perfect snapshot. When I became a mom, my whole rhythm shifted. Suddenly, I needed storage in places I never did. I wanted a cozy reading spot where there used to be just a sideboard. If I had been boxed in by a fixed furniture set, I would have had to choose between function and beauty. But because my design was built for flexibility, I just pivoted. And that's what I want for you. Not a perfect home, but a resilient one. There is something so satisfying about a room that feels completely put together. The symmetry, the cohesive colors, the sense of order, it all gives off that polished, intentional vibe. When you see this type of room, it gives a feeling that the person living here has it all figured out. But sometimes what looks perfect can feel a little too perfect. And that's where the magic of real design begins. I think a lot of us chase that perfectly finished look just because we are afraid of making wrong choices. Matching sets feel safe. They come with a built-in promise that stick to the formula and you can't go wrong. But the truth is, that kind of safety often comes at the cost of personality. A home full of perfectly matched pieces might look calm and polished, but sometimes it can feel a little too quiet. Because there is no texture, no tension, no real sense of the people who live there. They are just careful choices. But the real homes that pull you in, they are rarely perfect. They have layers. In traditional Arab homes, the goal was never perfection. It was meaning. And I feel like those kind of homes, they're not made to impress guests. They were made to make people feel at home. And that is why they stayed with us. You know, for years I have chased approval in my spaces because I thought maybe if everything looked perfect, no one would question my choices. But over time, I found that people don't connect to done, they connect to real. So this is something no one really talks about. Like when we're decorating, most of us are not even trying to create beauty. We are trying to just avoid regret. Sometimes it's the fear of getting it wrong. Like if we choose something that doesn't quite fit, or of spending on a piece we'll fall out of love with. So we try to take control, we go for matching sets. The furniture combinations that come pre-approved and are safe and predictable. But this is what you all need to understand, that when we design with fear, we play it safe. But it's creativity that brings life, soul, and warmth to a space. Mixing does not mean chaos. It means freedom. It means letting your space reflect who you are, not just what the catalog offered. And mixing is not just for artists or designers. It's for anybody who wants to make their home feel like a true expression, not just a copy-paste. If you've ever seen traditional markets like in Damascus or Cairo, there nothing matches, but somehow everything belongs. And that is the magic of thoughtful mixing. It's not random, it's soulful, and it's curated. You know, when I get this response that I feel too nervous to try, I always say this thing that your home should always evolve with you. So if you have been holding on to that matching set thinking it's the right way, maybe it's time to let go of that rule book. Your space doesn't need to be perfect, it needs to feel like you. Let it be layered and surprising. And if you're ready to start mixing with confidence, download my free design lookbook. It is filled with curated inspirations and practical tips, rooted in traditional Middle Eastern warmth. And I'll see you next time.